Hello everybody, I'm joining you from a bit of sunlight in my garden that hopefully is going to get more, but I'm going to carry on reading You're a Bad Man, Mr. Gum, where Mrs. Crawford left off. So I've been left with this chapter because it's got quite some tricky words in it, and I think you'll find out quite quickly. So this is called Chapter 5. Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, Fuppa, Fuppa, Berlin, Stereo, Eo, Eo, Leb, Sieb, Mnemonica, Lestrapec, de Grespin, de Crispin, de Spressin, de Vespin, de Whoop, de Loop, de Brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lemoir. The next morning, Mr. Gum inspected the cow hearts. They'd been soaking all night in rat poison, and they were good and proper dangerous to dogs now, and gave off a foul smell even worse than before. That blibbering dog will be smelling this bad smell, and with the animal instincts of animals, he'll refuse to eat them, thought the crafty old man. I'd better disguise the smell with something else. Shabba my whiskers. Mr. Gum looked through his kitchen cupboards, but there was anything nice in there? Of course there wasn't. All he could find was a rotten turnip, a dried up mushroom, and a sock full of stale crisps. So he headed into town. He was in a filthy mood, and as he walked along, he muttered to himself, "Shabba my whiskers." Who'd have thought poisoning that stupid whopper dog could be such hard work? What a bother it all is. There was a little girl playing in the hedge as Mr. Gum walked by, and she heard what he said and grew alarmed. "What's old Mr. Gum up to now with his talk of poisoning whopper dogs?" said the little girl to herself. "What whopper dog can he mean?" She ran through a list of all the whopper dogs that she knew. It didn't take long because she knew only one, Jake, the big, lovable, golden old hound. "No," she cried. "No, I won't let it happen. I loves that dog. Watch out, because it's true. I loves him, and what's more, that dog saved my life once, and now I'm not going to stand by playing in a hedge while that old grizzler flipping poisons him to death and destruction. No way, says I. I'll stop him, that's what I'll do." Now, this little girl's name was Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, Fuppa, Fuppa, Berlin, Stereo, Eo, Eo, Kyob, Siep, Mnemonica, Lestrapec, de Grespin, de Crispin, de Strespin, de Vispin, de Whoop, de Loop, de Brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lemoir. But her friend just called her Polly. You'll have to make up your mind now whether or not you are her friend. If you are, then you can call her Polly too. But if you are not, then every time you see or hear the name Polly in this story, in your head you'll have to say Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, Fuppa, Fuppa, Berlin, Stereo, Eo, Eo, Leb, Siep, Mnemonica, Lestrapec, de Grespin, de Crispin, de Spressin, de Vespin, de Whoop, de Loop, de Brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lemoir instead. For instance, she's about to go running down the hill like this. Polly went racing down the hill like a runaway marble. Now, if you're a friend, then don't worry about it. But if you're not her friend, you'll have to read it like this. Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, Fuppa, Fuppa, Berlin, Stereo, Eo, Eo, Leb, Siep, Mnemonica, Lestrapec, de Crispin, de Crispin, de Spressin, de Vispin, de Whoop, de Boop, de Brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lemoir went racing down the hill like a runaway marble. Most people in the mnemonic Bibbler choose to be Polly's friend for the sake of time and convenience. Luckily though, Polly was a girl worth liking. She was 9 years old, with lovely sandy hair like a cat's daydream, and a smile as happy as the Bank of England. And when she laughed, the sunlight went splashing off her pretty teeth like diamonds in search of adventure. So, Polly went racing down the hill like a runaway marble, determined to find Jake the dog before he fell victim to Mr. Gum's evil scheme. She didn't know exactly what the old man had in mind, but she knew her friend was in big trouble. She ran past the old curiosity shop and then ran back because she was curious to see what was inside. Then she remembered the danger Jake was in and continued on her way. She ran past a dustbin full of rubbish, and then another one filled with rubbish, and then another one filled with rubbish, and another one filled with princesses. There was something unusual about those dustbins. She had time to think, but she had to keep on running. She ran past big trees, tiny little trees, and tiny, tiny little trees, so small they're more like pebbles. In fact, they were pebbles. She ran past a cat's ears, which were lying on the pavement, and a cat's nose, and whiskers, which were lying on the pavement, and a cat's body, and tail, and legs, and eyes, and claws, which are lying on the pavement. In fact, it was all just one cat, lying on the pavement. She ran like the wind and then got tired, and just walked like a breeze, but she soon sped up again because she was determined to save that tremendous dog. It was only after she'd been running for about half an hour she remembered something quite important. She had absolutely no idea where Jake lived, and what's more, she was no longer in the mnemonic Bibbler. She had come to the woods on the edge of the town, and they were big and scary and full of shadows. The ancient trees looked down from high, stern and forbidding. "We are the trees," they seemed to whisper. You are not welcome in this place. We are the trees. A cold wind blew, making Polly shiver, and she was certain one of the flowers was snarling at her. Oh no, she cried, sitting down on one of those massive toadstools you sometimes get in spooky woods. I don't know where I am, and that's old Jake's face, the biggest challenge of his doggy life, and I don't know where I'm finding, man. That flower's probably going to eat me. And with that, she burst into tears. Just then, an old man peered out the window of a secret cottage half hidden in the bushes behind her. Polly hadn't noticed the cottage. I'm sure you wouldn't have either. That's the thing about secret cottages. They're secret. Well, 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 said the old man. What have we here? A little girl in trouble? And here this chapter ends, leaving you to wonder if the old man was Mr. Gum, or if it was a different old man who was going to be nasty to Polly and laugh at her and stuff. Or maybe he was a good man. Yes, this chapter ends here, with me not telling you that Polly was sitting outside the cottage of Friday O'Leary, a fantastic old fellow who knew the mysteries of time and space and things of that nature. And with me not telling you that he is one of the heroes of this tale, I am keeping that information to myself. You'll have to wait until chapter 7 to find out. That is what's known as suspense. He's not very good at the suspense thing. I feel like he's given a trick away. Right, you'll have to see who's going to read chapter 6 to you. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.